Hello guys, Gigi here, and welcome back for another Java tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be covering on how to write to files. So, how we go about this is we're going to need a few imports first. And what we're going to need is we're going to need to import java.io. And what IO stands for is input and output. So io.file. And another one we're going to need is import java.util.formatter. Okay. And I believe that's all we'll need for now. So let's go ahead and get started. How this is going to work is we are going to use this formatter to write to the file. Pretty simple. So what we're going to do is first we need to declare our formatter. F equals new formatter. Alrighty. Now, what we need to do is, in here, it's going to take new file, and it's actually going to error here, and when I type this in, but I'm going to call this juju.txt. And now you'd be thinking, wait, why is it going to error? Well, there's actually some methods that you need to use a try catch on that it won't allow you to continue without putting safety around it. And now you'd be thinking, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to do that? Well, that's because for this instance is if you're trying to write to a part, like if they saved it to a part on the hard drive where you're not allowed to write, it's going to just error. And so it's not that wise. So let's go ahead and throw this formatter in here, and what we're going to end up doing is just like that, and we're going to catch any errors that occur, but we're just not going to do anything. Now, one thing I didn't cover is the term finally. And what this does is, what finally means is, it's an extension like try and catch, but it's not mandatory. What happens is, finally means if this happens, okay, but if this happens, run this line of code. So the code in these blocks. What finally does is it's basically like, no matter what happens, when you're done running your code, I want this to happen. And so this will ensure that our formatter is close, but to do so, we need to make sure it's in scope. And if you guys forget what that is that scope is determined by these squiggly brackets, also known as data brackets. And so because this is in the same level as a data bracket and not within the try statement, it means that we wouldn't actually be able to access this formatter if it were defined in this try. So what we need to do is put it outside. Alright. I probably spent too much time explaining that, so I'm going to go ahead and continue on here. I'm going to go ahead and format. Oh, wait. This is finally. So if f does not equal null. So if if this line of code did work, what we want to do is make sure that is closed. All right. So let's go ahead and what we want to do is how we write to a file is we call format, and formatting's a bit more strange than normal way of writing, I guess. But again, it is also kind of useful. But how we do this is I'm going to say Juju is an awesome actually, I'm going to switch this, has awesome tutorials. Okay, so let's go ahead and now one thing I often see also is when writing the files and it includes a slash. So let's say you were writing it to your C drive. What I often see is people doing this and then they get an error and they don't understand why. What it is when you're using slashes like this, you actually have to add 2 slashes, because how Java sees it is if you recall to /n, what this means is new line, and there's actually a couple of these like tab, and I'm not quite and we can also do quotation mark, which means we want the quotation mark and not for the line to end like this. And so to tell it we actually want a slash, we do // The other option you have, but I'm not sure whether it works on all operating systems, is the /. And that could be used too, but I believe Linux has a problem with the /. I'm not sure. That's just a guess. So let's go ahead and run this, and we're not going to have any output, we're not going to have any output, but what we should have is, if we go over to our YouTube folder, right click and refresh, and there is our text document right there. And as we predicted, it is Juju has awesome tutorials. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now, what if we wanted, I don't know, if we had, user input a certain name. So let's say x equals new scanner, and what this would do is that they would enter a name that they thought was really cool, a person who had tutorials. And so I'm going to go ahead and set string to name, call the variable name, and I'm going to get whatever they input. Now, instead of doing name like we normally do and do name plus, what we can actually do with a formatter is do %s, and what that represents is a string, and then we can go outside, do a comma, and then type in the variable name. And so if we go ahead and run this, it's going to wait for us to enter a name. I'm going to enter, I already entered mine, so I'm going to enter Trisolid. Yeah, I had no idea who that is, but seems legit. So let's go ahead, and now our text file now says Trisolid has awesome tutorials. Alright, I hope you found this video useful. I'm going to be continuing on how to read files in the next tutorial, so if you want to know about that, go ahead and hop over there. If you found this useful though, go ahead and give it a like. If you haven't subscribed and want to see future videos, go ahead and do that. This was Juju, and I hope I see you in the next tutorial.